Look, it's April Fool's. I'm out of energy. I don't care. This is how this podcast is going to begin. I don't think I'm even pre-recording a thing that's an intro. Look, if you're listening to this or watching this on YouTube or wherever the hell, just do the members thing. Check out the audio commentaries and all that stuff. Extra bonus topics. I have no idea, really. Me and Tristan talk some video games and stuff, so that's all on there. Just go find it in the members community section. Anyways, this is, as always, Armin. I'm real tired today. I don't know why I slept in, but I think that's all. It's all going to go away soon once the weather gets better, and tomorrow's Falcon and Winter Soldier, so that'll get me hyped through the rest of the day. But, as always, I am joined by Mitch.
What's up? You can find me at Mitch692, and tomorrow is also Invincible Day.
Yeah, I have yet to watch
Falcon,
that.
and it's so good.
I want to get on it, but maybe I'll just wait till it's done and binge through it. That might be a way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, you got another 4 weeks.
Okay, that's not too bad. What is it, 20-minute episodes or?
45.
Oh, gee. Okay, never mind. I might just catch up then slowly. Okay, that might.
Yeah. It's just like, what cartoon's 45 minutes long?
Yeah, that's insane.
Those TV specials.
Oh. Well, okay, that voice right there is Tristan, so he's with us.
Yeah, you can catch me at SGChance on Twitter. And like always, I'm still pumping in that caffeine.
Yep. It's all we can really do. Well, with that in mind, people are probably like, wow, this show's probably going to be lacking all sorts of topics. Oh, it definitely is. But don't...
You be correct.
Yeah, don't you worry. Good old Tristan John in the community section always sends us questions. So I was like, you know what? Instead of recording some of these as bonus topics, which we will have anyway, that always sprinkle out through the week, we're just going to add a couple in this show and discuss some of the topics that he sent us. So you guys can, enjoy some of his Q&A and all that, and that's going to be the show today. So nothing too exciting, or maybe so exciting you just don't know it. I mean, it could go either way, really. It's probably not exciting, though, I'll be real with you. But, I guess with that, anything else anybody wants to say for housekeeping before we get to the damn show?
No.
All right. Well, I guess there we go. So, yeah, let's get into the first with topic. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier having Baron Zemo, and we know that they are quite clearly assembling two teams in the MCU in these shows and movies. One, Young Avengers, two, the Thunderbolts. I mean, we can see that there. John asked, is it possible we could get Citizen V in the MCU? Would they even go down that route? And for those unaware, Citizen V, or was it Z? I can't remember now. God damn it.
It's definitely V, but I don't know if it's a 5 or a V.
What am I thinking of Z for? It was something I was just reading that has Citizens. Either way, though, Baron Zemo.
I think they brought Citizen V back as someone else recently.
It's stated it's the letter V, not the Roman numeral. So
Citizen 5.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of like Citizen 5 though, but yeah, it's well, okay. Regardless of his name, Baron Zemo, could he be some sort of additional member to the Thunderbolts to take on that sort of patriotic role for what he stands for, his beliefs? It was an interesting take in the comics. Like, I enjoyed it. I think the outfit was a little overdone, but again, that's a comic book thing, like it's kind of expected at this point, that sometimes it just goes very ridiculous. So, I don't know about this one. Like, I would like, and I hope that Zemo gets kept around, but you never know with the MCU.
I mean, if they're building the Thunderbolts, I think it's obvious he's going to stay around.
Yeah,
it's just whether they, can they really go around calling him Baron Zemo? That's literally just his name.
Yeah. That it doesn't seem fitting. It's like, oh, who's that? It's Baron Zemo. Okay, and there's always a reason it works in the comics why it doesn't work in live action. I think that's a prime example here. So maybe he does just take up that name, gets a cool looking sword or whatever.
I say just literally keep the mask and what he's wearing now and give him a sword. Done. Call him Citizen V. Done.
I mean,
easy pick.
you say that, and like the way I would just handle it easily is because we know like the group Ultimatum, because we've seen the set photos and the Flag Smashers are all in. I would just have him be like, look, I want everybody united the same way you guys do. Let's all come under one banner led by Citizen V. All right. Like, that's an easy buy. It's not over-explainable, you know?
Yeah, I'd rather have him have his this current suit rather than his Citizen V suit, which is basically just a giant, was it a U.S. flag cape around his body. And I think he's like white and purple.
That weird like half cape thing. That's just the flag, and it's like, no, that's a bad choice.
Give him the Homelander style look.
I mean, yeah. The only thing with that is his whole motivation, it seems, for Falcon Winter Soldier is to not have symbols and not have movement. So how that would play into it, I don't know.
This is the movier movement, Mitch. We got to evolve our stance to be more accepting of everybody that wants to fall in line. It's,
makes sense.
I mean, I think it'd be smart to keep him because you have a very intelligent strategist that can plan out, very complex schemes like Zemo. So it's like, yeah, this guy's probably had more hits than misses as opposed to Thunderbolt Ross, who seems like he just has misses every time he shows up. So it's like, yeah, it's probably a better choice of a leader, or maybe not. I don't know. Maybe Thunderbolt's just funding it and the rest of the people are doing their thing, but I definitely have the sense that he'll be involved, assuming he survives, because you never know who survives.
I mean, he's in She-Hulk, isn't he? So
yeah, well, yeah. I mean, you'd have to put him in there, I assume. So
obviously, depending on when She-Hulk is set.
Yeah,
because right now we don't know.
We know
it could literally be anywhere. There's a 5-year gap. It could be in there.
Yep. Well, I guess we'll find out soon. But yeah, we'll see what happens with Zemo and how that leads into everything. If Thunderbolt shows up in Falcon and Winter Soldier, which there was rumors he might. So I guess we'll know. Now, this was an interesting question that was brought up, and actually a few people asked about this, and I really liked this. I was like, you know what? I'll roll into the main show. Superhero schools in comics and then transitioning them over to media. Now, when you think about this, you're like, well, it's one of these things where, like, the X-Men are probably the most well-known, right? It's like, oh, they got, Xavier School for gifted youngsters, and okay, cool. Like, it's a great approach. Like, it gives them the ability to introduce younger characters to the world, which is obviously something the MCU is doing. Now, do we think, as part of this question, that they're going to do more of it? Like, Avengers Academy is another one. There's plenty of them when you look at DC and Marvel, but specifically Marvel in this instance, because that's sort of a direction they're going in. What do you think? Is it just going to be Professor X, or do you think they're going to have more of these pop up all over the place? Because, I mean, an initiative is more younger characters in the MCU for kids to appeal to, so...
I'm not entirely sure. I'm not exactly sure how you do a school. Like, how does the mansion work? No, a mansion, fine. You can have a team living in a mansion. That's fair enough. But an entire school of kids, no.
I mean, I could definitely see that Avengers compound becoming something where they have like a training facility or something. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
it's more about the amount of characters.
Yeah, that's always the hard part.
I mean, they could follow preset amount of kids for if it's a TV show or a movie. You'd kind of rather have it as a TV show first, just to see how it goes, because that's the problem with these. You don't the huge amount of cast members in whatever superhero school that you have. That's going to be the problem, because every one of them could be, a main character for an episode.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's more so as well, like, where do you explain where these people came from?
Yeah.
Like, if it's mutants, right? If you can't just go, oh yeah, there's a school for mutants in the first movie. You're like, what? Where? When did that happen?
Right there. It happened during the 5 years.
When did that happen? Where did they come from? Why has no one talked about this before? No.
That's why I always feel like you have to take a different style approach to the X-Men, because they are going to be part of the MCU, not just, like thrown into their own universe like the Fox characters were, because it's a lot easier to explain it if it's standalone than if it's part of a bigger universe that's growing. So
the problem with X-Men is they are a universe unto themselves, and in the comics they have been that way for about 30 years.
Yeah.
Like, yes, they cross over because obviously they can, but they're very much their own thing.
But they always have their own problems going on that nobody really acknowledges. They're like, oh, the X-Men are doing X-Men-y things. So, yeah, I think that's, like you guys said, it does bring up that whole I don't know question mark problem. One way I think you could do it, and I thought Runaways balanced it well, but that's because Runaways is about, spoiler alert, a bunch of kids that sort of have, some powers and things being on the run. So it worked in that instinct, but you can't make every single franchise like that, because the moment you drop a whole school, even another one into the MCU, I mean, that's just so much to go over. Like, so I think you keep it to one. If you do an Avengers Academy, you could do it. It's sort of like that Age of Ultron scene at the end where they're all maybe just standing there. You show a training montage or something, but I don't think you make a whole thing out of it. It would just seem personally to me, it seems a little overkill, because you would want the X-Mansion and the X-Men to be a little bit more standout among the rest of them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I suppose you could always have like the Avengers Academy more of a military thing and the X-Men school more of a we live here thing.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, I could. So, I don't know, like, I'm never opposed to the idea of anything, because I think they can make anything work if you give it enough care and attention. But too much of a thing can sometimes be bad, like...
Yeah, they just got to be very careful how they handle it, because, yes, you can just do it the same way as the comics, but it's like, well, the comics the comics haven't got the issue of time.
Yeah.
These movies have that factor of time, and time passes and moves on, and you have to have everything fit. You can't just go back and retcon everything.
Yeah, because comics have a sliding time scale, so... they have all the time in the world to do whatever they need to do within the time frame compared to...
I mean, even without the sliding time scale, I can just go, yeah, this thing happened here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then you're going to get people and all, but this contradicts this. And
Look,
this
you get that anyway. You get that anyway right now.
Jean Grey has been arguing with herself of if she wants Logan or Scott for like 60 years, okay? And it's like, oh, and in comics time, it's only been like, 4 years of X-Men or whatever? It's like, huh. Boy, these characters, huh? Like,
I was going to say, it hasn't been long.
No, it's like instant almost, it feels like, which, that's a thing.
They got 15 years to play with in Marvel, at least. That's how their time is.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I suppose we'll find out soon enough how they're going to handle it when they introduce the X-Men. But, obviously when we get that info, we will talk about it here. So, stay. So... if you go back through Spider-Man in the MCU, I want to say it was probably Homecoming. I think they introduced Cindy, like the character of Cindy Moon, like she's the...
Well, there's an Asian girl called Cindy there.
Yeah. And
she's credited as Cindy. She's named in the movies.
Right, and it's one of those things where I think they played as sort of like X-Men did with Emma Frost, where in the commercials, she was Emma Frost, but in the credits... just nothing. It was just like, the Origins didn't introduce Emma Frost because we didn't technically. So, it was interesting that after that movie, we started to hear, Sony's doing their own, Silk, and that's becoming a TV series and all that. And the question here is like, is there a future somewhere in the multiverse or even in the MCU of that specific Cindy Moon Silk, or maybe even recasting the actress? We don't know how they'll do it, but being sort of connected to everything that we've seen so far. Like, could they reveal, oh yeah, no, that's the same girl. She has spider powers.
I mean, they got all the time in the world to reveal it.
Yeah, they do.
I don't think they set up a character like that for no reason at all.
Yeah.
That's not how they operate.
Yeah.
It's just a question of when do we get. It's when do we get, and if we do get it in the end. I assume it's going to be in the MCU because Marvel and Sony working more closely together now.
Yep. But
what I can't remember is that Silk thing on Amazon going to be live action or is it anime?
It's live action.
All right, so that's another question. Is that going to be?
It's one of those adjacent properties.
It's like, I think if they recast the actress for that, then I think no, she's going to be her own separate thing.
Yeah, I mean, there's always, whatever the hell they do with the multiverse or whatever, or, there are so many possibilities here. I think the whole thing with Cindy, in that character specifically, is if you wanted to put it in the MCU, you could literally say, like, well, she was kind of, like, learned about her powers and aged up a little while Peter Parker was blipped away. So you could drop her into the middle of that chaos, and that's when she learns she has powers. Or maybe that's when she took on that, like, what was it, Cindy? She, like, cocooned or something? I can't, oh, God, it's been, like, 6 years since that comic.
She got bit. She did something, and then she got locked away in that cell underground for like 10 years.
If I remember correctly, I think it was she
like
got
Mona
bit. Yeah, I think she got bit right after Peter, and then she got locked in that underground bunker, and she just did whatever she did for almost 15 years.
She survived.
And then for whatever reason, the lock unlocked, and then she like kind of walked out, was all freaked out.
Wow, she really lucked out. She managed to stay hidden through the entire Clone Saga. That's freaking. Yeah. That's really the ultimate win here. Yes, you're locked away, but you dodged it.
It's the same spider, isn't it? That bites.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
That's why they have the whole pheromone hormone thing. It's just like, we can do without this bit. Thank you, Dan Slough.
See, I actually enjoyed that, but not for the good reason that it's like, this is a great idea. I enjoyed it for the exact opposite reason of that. I was like, oh.
Oh, man, then they won't have that really cringy scene where, like, I think was
every 5 seconds.
No, one character. I think it was. One character is sitting in the room and they're up on the ceiling, and then the one character is like, "You guys done yet?"
Oh yeah, we can do without that.
Yeah, I don't know.
You can play about with it a little bit. Just don't be like, "Yeah, we're banging everywhere." And everything.
Yeah,
it's not our fault. It's the hormones.
Well, I mean, the storyline reason there is actually good for why you would have to keep her away from Parker and why they can never meet up. She's like, whoa, the moment we get close to each other, this thing gets out of hand and we can't really control it. So, let's not work together. And then they just take her away to the Sony section of Marvel, which never gets acknowledged. It's like, you know what? You actually got a storyline reason here for this, which I would accept, because that is how it was handled in the comics, where he's like, I feel in love with you, but I'm actually not. Like, oh yeah, it's the pheromone thing. He's like, okay, well, we should stay apart then. And it's like, cool. Congrats on writing in a reason for him not to have somebody else in his life that he has to fall in love with. It's like, I could actually see that being a factor in the whole Sony decision, being like, this is how we do this. It's not the Venom way where they're like, we'll completely change the character around to avoid Spider-Man. Like, this actually would make sense, so...
Yeah, I mean, I change it up to maybe like, if you go the whole route of like, spiders kill each other after mating. Play that angle.
Yeah.
They're heroes separately, but together they're not. But then you can still kind of like fall into a bit of a trap with that one. But I just completely get rid of it, to be honest. But
I mean, whatever they decide to do, I'm pretty sure it'll be because Sony wants it done, not for story mandate. They're just like, no, this has to happen this way. Why? 'Cause. All right, sure, I guess. But yeah, we'll see how they handle it. Nonetheless, look, something's got to happen with Silk soon. They've been working on this for like 3 years now. Feels like it's actually been only like 2, but still, that's a long time. So
I wouldn't be surprised if they dropped the whole Amazon Silk thing.
Same, yeah.
Because that was done pre-Fallout. No.
True.
We get a kiss and make up.
Yeah, I mean, maybe they'll get it into the MCU proper, and then Kevin Feige can do it for Sony and Disney Plus, and that would be a win for everybody. So, hey, well, we'll talk about it if they ever get back to it. Human hybrid characters in live action. This is one that actually a few people asked. John, as always, actually formulates a question nicely that I can read it. So, we take his. And he was asking, like, if you look at the backlash of character like Cheetah, for example, and, like, the Cats movie being, like, the prime example of, like, crime against humanity for how those things look. And then you look at certain things like Killer Croc, okay, you could see that he wasn't exactly the best looking in the live action movie. But then you have characters like the Lizard, for example. He was wondering the future of these types of characters in live action. Is there even a future? Could we see them like Falcon? Joaquin Torres. Could they make him a half Birdman? Like, does anybody? No. Right. Nobody wants that.
He's horrible.
Yeah. Nobody. Like, I can speak for everybody on the planet being like, I don't think anybody wants that. There'll be like 3 people that do, but that's a terrible idea. So it's like, it's.
Well, here's the thing. A lot of human hybrid characters are mutants, so what are you going to do there?
That's true.
Like,
yeah.
Isn't Sabretooth technically like a... Obviously, he's not like a hybrid, but he's kind of hybrid.
He's going to look at least semi-decent, I think. Hopefully.
Hopefully. I don't know, but... Yeah, because how many times do they draw that dude with a snout? The snout and the fangs and the mutton chops and all that.
Well, that's the thing we need. We need the Lizard done properly with a snout.
Yeah.
Because, like, he was borderlining, this makes me uncomfortable in The Amazing Spider-Man 1. Like, it was just, like, almost there. I was like, okay, I could see it's kind of, they're not fully pushing on.
He just needed, like, a little stubby snout.
Yeah, yep.
No. Didn't need the whole flat face thing. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, I don't know if you'd call it a hybrid character, but I'm just going to generalize this to, like, anthropomorphic animals. Like, we're apparently getting Rintrah in Doctor Strange. That's a bull man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you mentioned that. It's like, that can work and probably will work. And if you look at, technically not a hybrid, but King Shark works. He looks great.
Yeah, I mean, King Shark looks great, yeah.
I think the problem is with the Uncanny Valley. Look to the characters that have more human characteristics than animal characteristics.
Yeah,
that's why you see like more characters that have more animal features look a lot better than the ones that have more human features.
Mm-hmm. I know sometimes you can run into that uncanny ground of discomfort. Like Cheetah, for example, there's a reason they decided to mostly hide her in the dark in that final battle, because anytime you saw her outside of that, you're like, that is not good. That was a terrible decision in every single step of the way. And yes, she looks better than what they did in Cats, but boy, that's a pretty low bar. So it's like,
I think with a lot of these like hybrids, they have multiple different looks.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't have to go with the actual Cheetah look for Cheetah. There's a more human looking one, so they could have easily gone that route. I'm trying to think of prominent ones that are more than likely going to happen.
I mean, it's technically not a hybrid, but how about a Green Goblin that's not a suit or Goblin AIDS?
Like, yeah, I mean, just have the mask.
Yeah. Make them look like the Green Goblin. Like, there's literally like cosplayers out there that have made masks that look so good, and it's like a 1-to-1 translation from the comic. You're like, wow, that actually looks incredible. So could maybe do a hybrid where he morphs into that and it just looks like the Goblin.
Is Tigra technically a hybrid?
Yes.
I think Tigra is.
Yeah. Yep.
Because doesn't she have a tail?
Yeah, she does. And like in certain iterations, she has some fur. And, yeah.
I was thinking of Tigra when we're talking about cheating. I couldn't remember what look she had, and I was like, I know she's had like a normal person look on that, but.
Yeah, remember they were going to do that Tiger show on Hulu.
It just depends on the artist at the time, because sometimes she has, the tail, some fur, then she'll have the, cat-like nose. Sometimes she doesn't.
Mm-hmm. See, what they need to do is the High Evolutionary and Counter-Earth. Just get it out of the way.
Yep.
Here's an entire planet of animal people.
Oh, no. People Spider-Man in space.
No, what they need to do is drop that into the Multiverse of Madness. They'll go to a Counter-Earth where they're all like, oh, look, that's... Why is that Captain America half giraffe? What in the world is this? And just see what works and be like, we'll use this. Oh, damn.
That'd be horrendous. I'd watch it, but it'd be horrendous.
Yeah, it'd be frightening. Dude, that's the horror they were talking about. It's not real horror. It's just like Cronenberg horror where you see it, you're like, oh my god, I feel so off put by that. It's disgusting, but I can't turn away.
I just can't think of any prominent human hybrid.
Same.
Man-Bat?
Is he one?
Man-Bat, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, I suppose Beast is one. Dragon Man.
Dragon Man. Oh. What?
No, not technically a human, it's an alien, but...
What is Savage Dragon? Remember that character?
I mean, I've seen it.
I think Jim Lee created him.
That's a 90s character.
Yeah, he is.
Savage
still
Dragon.
Ongoing, so.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I think it just depends how you do it.
Yep.
Like, you don't want to go the Triton route that Inhumans did and go really bare bones with it. But I think if you went the more recent Triton look in the comics, it would work really well.
Yeah.
It's just a fish guy, and we've had fish guys in Hellboy and Shape of Water before.
And they look great, so...
Yeah.
No,
I think it's just... I think a lot of it is don't use CGI.
Let's talk about the future of cosmic characters in the MCU and casting some of them. Before anybody says anything, I don't want to hear Keanu Reeves as anybody. We got to go a little bit more original. It's
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves as Keanu Reeves in space. Whoa! Although he probably would make
Space Reeves.
Space Reeves. So, I mean, we know more cosmic characters are coming to the MCU. They're clearly setting that up with multiple things, from Guardians to Captain Marvel. The obvious ones everybody wants are Nova, Surfer, Beta Ray Bill. Is that it? Is that what everybody wants? I think.
Pretty much. They're the big three, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, I don't know where to start with casting, because here's the problem with casting. Somebody makes a stupid fan casting and everybody suddenly gravitates to it, and if it's not that, you automatically hate it or hate the people that suggest anything else. See Fantastic Four. Just use that as an example. Exactly. Like, people are literally dead set on Keanu has to be Silver Surfer. I'm like, one, I don't think you've ever read or picked up anything Silver Surfer. Maybe you've seen the second terrible movie, and that's it. Because Keanu is the complete opposite of the Silver Surfer. Like,
especially when Namor is right there.
Yeah. Like,
if you got to get Keanu for anyone, you get him for Namor.
That would work, honestly. Hell, I wouldn't mind if they were to cast Keanu as like some sort of cosmic X-Men character. Or like, yeah, you know, there's plenty there. Like, there's tons to explore.
The thing is, well, he's old. Keanu is old now.
Oh yeah, he is.
People think the Matrix where he's like 20. No, dude's like 50.
Hey, speaking of which, the day we recorded this, it's one day after the 22nd anniversary of the Matrix.
Christ.
Yep.
I'm old.
Yep.
Oh. Also, if anyone says Cavill as Sentry or Hyperion, no.
Oh.
I get the funny because Man is still Superman and Superman allegory characters, but please no.
Please
no.
Yeah.
It's like, I want Zack Snyder to do the Squadron Supreme. It's like, please no.
No.
Right. If you're gonna get Snyder to do anything, you get him for something else.
Yeah.
You don't literally, just pigeonhole people like that. Or even like Cavill as Captain Britain, because I'm counting that's a cosmic character because Multiverse. But...
Yeah, I think that's a good casting.
It is, but at the same time, it's just like, I get it, he's English.
Yeah. I mean, how about Gladiator? That's a character I want to see. Like, that's...
Who would I get as Gladiator?
I have no idea there. I just want to see him, though.
I mean, he's got to be coming soon, right?
Yeah.
If Gunn don't pull out some huge Shi'ar thing in Guardians 3, I'm going to be let down.
Yeah. No, I mean, Eternals, look at that. That's all, like, cosmic characters, so...
Yeah.
It's...
Say, if you can... I had the idea in the me and Sean did the How to Introduce, I think it was Sentry.
Uh-huh.
I had Bradley Cooper as Sentry, but I think you could swap him over to Hyperion. It'd be just as good. He's such a left field thing. It's like you wouldn't expect Cooper to be able to pull something off like that, but I think he can. Yeah. If you take his American Sniper role, make him that big, you would nail the hell out of a Superman type role.
Mm-hmm. No, definitely. I agree with that. I mean, the thing with like cosmic characters is like you need to be careful with them. Like the more powerful the character gets, the harder it tends to be to get them, in live action and balance them out without suddenly triggering everybody. I mean, look at what happens when Captain Marvel shows up in Endgame. People literally are still raging at Brie Larson and hate her because, Captain Marvel just shows up and takes down an entire ship and the Avengers couldn't do it by themselves. Well, she's a cosmic character. And that's kind of a problem. Like when Silver Surfer shows up in the MCU.
Yeah, but Silver Surfer won't have that for 3 very obvious reasons.
Yeah. Obviously.
3 very obvious reasons.
Yep. But he's going to be so powerful. So it's like you have to kind of, scale that back and adjust and all that. But whatever they decide to do, I'm honestly just excited to see how they're going to do it. I think Nova is probably going to be like the next one up in the line because we know they were working on Nova projects. That's been out there for a while. So.
Honestly, get Krasinski for Nova.
Yeah.
If you're going to do Ryder, get John Krasinski for it.
True. That could be good, honestly.
Normally, I was on the Krasinski train for Fantastic Four, but as people have ridden that thing so far into the ground, it's like, I don't want it now.
Same.
I can't think of anyone more boring and bland for that character than Krasinski.
I want Fantastic Four to be younger, like, mid-20s, not 45 to 50 by the time the thing comes out, but, it's...
I'll say they're a tricky one to get right.
Yeah. I like the Ultimates approach where we can actually see them grow, but I suppose whatever happens with Fantastic Four, that's going to bring us way more cosmic, so... what I'm saying is... Yeah. Get Ben Affleck to play Annihilus. There we go. Ben Affleck is Annihilus.
I'll say, who would you get for Galactus? Because Galactus is a tricky one.
Yeah. Well, do you do his origin properly?
Yes.
Oh boy. Check out this cosmic egg thing.
Is he a cosmic egg? I thought he was a survivor of the previous iteration of the universe.
Yes, that gets reborn in like a cosmic egg or whatever the hell. Yeah, it's his origin is tricky. So here's what you do: he starts off as like the collective Borg, and then he forms the giant robot because that's just easy to explain.
Who played the Borg?
Well, that's where we get Patrick Stewart. So there we go. That's Galactus.
There you go.
Actually, with that voice, and that wouldn't be that bad.
No, I'm down for that. Because you wouldn't even need... Galactus is bald anyway.
Yeah.
He's bald and old. So there you go, sorted, done.
And can you imagine the Patrick Stewart Galactus facepalm meme when he does it in the movie trying to eat the planet? And that's all figured out. Well, I suppose that'll then bring us to the end of this, which was just a Q&A show we did for you guys for this episode. Because again, it's one of those weeks where there was things to talk about, but it's like not enough to fill out a whole show. So sometimes we'll do one of these shows. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And next week, hopefully things are back to normal and we got all sorts of topics to cover. Which I suppose let's just quickly talk about it. We did a quick breakdown of it, but we love that Suicide Squad trailer. My God.
Yes. I need that movie now.
Ooh, that looks like it probably. I want to say it probably looks like it's going to be the best DCEU film yet. Like that's.
I mean, hopefully.
Yeah, I have high hopes.
There are people being like, "How do people like this when it's dark and edgy and not Snyder stuff?" It's like, I wouldn't call this dark and edgy.
Yeah.
To be honest,
this legit looks just like Ostrander's run on the comics. Like it's.
I think he actually not co-wrote, but he consulted on the script.
I would not be surprised. I mean,
it's also in the movie, so
well, then there you go. That's all you really need to know on that part of it. So
he's the dude that puts the bums in their heads.
Perfect. I mean, yeah, I'm excited for it. The trailer looked great. I'm excited to see
both trailers look great because the second one's leaked now.
Yeah, and that's way better. Leave it to them to not release the better trailer, which
I mean, you have to go up, don't you? You can't like start high and go down. You got to start low and go up.
That is true. But yeah, no, we're excited by it. I just can't wait to see what they're gonna have to offer with the likes of, so many different characters and how it all clicks together and what James Gunn's vision is for this iteration. I think that's a correct word to use because it is picking up the threads and plot threads that were left over, but it's clearly doing its own thing. I mean, Starro, man, like, come on.
Yeah. I hope he talks.
Yeah.
And it's some weird random cameo voice.
It's got to be Taika, right?
I mean, go left field and get Miley Cyrus back. You did it for Guardians 2. Get Miley Cyrus for Starro. Why not?
I want Starro then to rock out the party in the USA.
Yes.
That would
perfect.
Peak cinema. Give that man all the Oscars next year. I don't care.
I just like this conversation going around about how people find King Shark cute, and James Gunn's like, "Yeah, I'm aware of this."
Wait, what?
Which is funny because
wow.
let's be honest, he looks cute. He's the chubby little thing.
Yeah.
He's always adorable. And he's like, yeah, we purposely went the other way so it's not following the how to make a cute formula. Like a baby Groot or a baby Yoda. But people still found him cute anyway. It's just like, oh, okay.
Because it wasn't he going to be his Hammerhead iteration, but they're having trouble.
It was too wide.
Yeah, they're having trouble.